So you've got a Starbucks cup with a tiny little kitty on it because it's for the critter getter. They couldn't draw a lion or anything bear or anything like that. It's a tiny little kitty. It looks like...
Stop. They know I like kitties.
All right. Looks like Peter Criss from Kiss. It's more of that.
Oh, it totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Totally.
Kiss. Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, a lot better.
A little more badass than the, got the little kitty. I'm the kitty getter. Yeah, instead of critter getter, you're the kitty getter. It's really close to kitty litter.
Well, that's something that I'd like to bring up. We did a job, and there was this beaver in Loveland. This was a notorious, world-renowned, the ghost beaver that nobody could catch, nobody could do. Well, they got a hold of me.
Yes.
And, one thing led to another, and the first night, I had the beaver. So there was all this hoop and rage, man. Radio stations were there, newspaper there. It's like, yeah, I'm not going there. I didn't do this for this. I didn't want nothing to do with this. All the calls started pouring in. I shuffled them to Jackie. I'm like, Jackie! Trying to get her to, because they don't want to talk to me. I mean, who would want to talk to me?
It's a fine point.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
so anyway, I told Jack, I says, hey, that big trailer we got that says Critter Getter of Northern Colorado? How cool would it be if we put the Beaver Whisperer on there? Yeah, that didn't go over so well. That didn't. Needless to say, it's not on the trailer. I pride myself in that, though.
Yes, I understand.
Because there is not a beaver that can shut me down.
You're going after him right now, are you not?
On multiple levels. We've got a huge job to go to tomorrow. Me and James are heading down.
Are they active right now? Is this? By the way, it's Mike in the Mountain. I'm Brian Gary.
Scott Cisco.
And we're talking about beaver. Are they really? Are they more active at this time of the year as we're preparing for the end of a season?
Yes and no. So there's, again, with wildlife, man, there's so many variables.
Sure.
There's climate, there's fire, there's all kinds of things going on. The northeast region of Colorado is the most densely populated beaver population in the state.
Really?
We have more beaver than any part of the state. With that being said, out on the Front Range here, the problem for there being human-animal interaction, causing problems. Yeah, we got some beaver. I mean, right down in the middle of town, as you know. But yeah, they start in the springtime. They have their litter, their kits, and then as they grow up, mom and dad are like, beat it. And
that works in beaver families?
It totally works.
Oh, I should have been a beaver.
Right. No, yeah. I would have been a beaver.
Damn.
I was, yeah. So anyway, yeah. No, I'm just a huge fan of the beaver, man.
I understand.
That's what makes me happy. I mean, it's what, flips the switch for me. I mean, when I get a job call in
fur is the most amazing. Seriously, you gave me one that I just hang over the back of my chair in my office.
Right.
And it's almost like a stress ball. When you get stressed out, just pet that damn thing.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, my sister, she went up to Silverthorne with us on a little vacation, and I've got one over the console in Jackie's luxury vehicle.
Yes.
And my sister's just like, God, I could just rub this all day. Like, she rubbed it plumb bare in one spot. It's just leather. Thanks, Kelly. At any rate, I ended up having to give her one because, again, and we've actually thought about putting the plucked and sheared on little pillows. This is serious for sensory. We looked at maybe the Alzheimer units because, again, you felt that. And
it is.
It feels man-made. It is.
It's mood changing. It is.
Absolutely, man. That's therapeutic stuff, dude. Everybody should have beaver. I mean...
Well, it's not like they're that prevalent. Like you can go down to Beaver Mart.
Well, there is. Wait a minute. There is the Beaver Mart over in Fort Collins, the Beaver Market. Okay. But you can't get beaver there.
Okay. Let's move into the mountains, shall we? Where you came from.
Well, that's where I just come back from.
This is why I get a little bit nervous some Mondays when I know he's been in the mountain all weekend long. On record day, because that means he's got like some Jeremiah Johnson to get out of him when he comes back down.
Do I?
You know what I mean? So you just spent a weekend in your paradise.
Oh, I did. Yes.
Up in the mountains, checking out an area for critters and so forth. You were sending us pictures back of marmots, and then all of a sudden a badger. No, I didn't even know that we really had badgers around here.
No, we do. People don't see them a lot. Well, come on, Brian. Some people think we have raccoons.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's true.
Again, that's what I'm trying to, that's where we've got to come through with educate, understand, and respect. This stuff's all over the place. People just don't realize it because it's nocturnal or out of the way, or how many people are watching for them. I mean, go drive down the highway. There's not too many people watching for them because they're on the road.
No, we haven't gone on a badger check for a while. That's,
no. Well, no, not since you've been on with me. We went on one here in town.
Yeah, we did go looking for one. You had smelt him in the area. You said, I can smell him here.
Oh, yeah. Real pungent, musky, badgelicious. Sorry.
Is that a word, James? Can you hashtag badgelicious?
Badgelicious.
Oh, right up there with Yeet and Gucci.
Okay.
Gooch. Yeah, I walked into Elijah. I said, Elijah, I'm feeling gooch. He's like, no,
Dad. No, I know that one.
We try, man. We try so hard to pull it off with our kids.
Hey, with your help, I did pull it off with my grandkids.
What do you mean with my help?
With your help, because you and your son were kind enough you have this little MX 350 dirt bike, this little scooter, the little battery powered, motorbike. And your son had kind of done his time on it and so forth.
Yeah.
And you guys paid it forward and then sent that home with me a few weeks ago for the grandkids. And I had put it in the garage and was just leaving it there, waiting to charge because I had a battery coming for it. I knew it needed a new battery. And the day I put it in there, I didn't think they'd even notice. The door flies open. Papa! You need to explain. There's a dirt bike in the garage.
Dude,
Whose is it?
Man.
Well, since the tire came in, you guys helped me with that too.
Yeah.
Tire, battery on there. Those kids were on that thing all weekend.
Are you kidding?
And I can tell you, as a guy who rides a Harley, a guy who loves his motorcycle, seeing your grandchildren on their first bike is an unbelievable feeling of pride. Not just seeing them on it, but seeing them dig it so much that my grandson Xander came to me. He said, if I had my video game fully charged and ready to go and it was on my favorite game, or the motorcycle was charged and ready to ride, I'd pick the motorcycle every time. And I'm just, even if you're lying, that is the coolest thing I've heard. It really was.
Let's think about that because, man, that thing's been sitting out there in the shop for a while. For a while, man. And it's been in the way. And I want to challenge people. You said something that kind of struck me, man, paying it forward.
Amen.
I want to challenge people to go through their garage, their shed, go in there and take a look at some of this stuff, man. And listen, if you need a few bucks for it to get by, I understand. But if you can give it to somebody, man, especially in these times, to get those grandkids out of the house and out from behind the video game. And I'm not saying no,
it's brilliant.
Dude,
it is to have a balance.
Yes, balance. So if you got something to pay it forward, man, and you got something just taking up space, man, think about it. There's somebody in need, and somebody could use this, and you could make somebody's life. I mean, this is memories.
Oh, they're loving it, and getting to talk to your boy, and me telling him how much it's meant to my boys to have that. It lights him up in that sense too. Man. So I just think that's cool. So thank you again for that, because the boys are having fun riding that. I've been trying to kind of go Cisco on these boys. Now, by that, I mean...
Wait a minute. No. Should we talk about that on the...
No, no.
Isn't that somewhat abusive?
You have said many times, love them where they're at. And you're talking about just the population in general. Just a couple examples of that is I forever have just wished my grandsons would play ball with me. All right. I mean, I grew up where I had an older brother, and all we ever did was play ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you find a ball, we were going to play a game. Okay, let's throw it back and forth and see how many times we can do it without dropping it.
Simple things.
Just stupid little games that we would come up with and play. And basketball, we'd always be playing basketball or baseball or football or playing one of these games. And my grandkids were never into it. And I'm just, hey, it's for some people. It's not for others. And I'm letting them find their way.
Right.
And they never really had any interest. Well, over the last couple of weeks, every day they get home, all they want to do is play basketball.
Really?
All they want to do is play ball,
Okay.
play catch with me, shoot hoops, do all this. And I'm like, who are you guys turning into? This is so cool.
Well, and
this is what I love to do.
We don't have patience for that. We want to see that happen. And that's something I'm really struggling with in life, man, is having the patience. I want to see him do things or her do things. I want to see it do it now. I want to see him get it now. But listen, man, we can't place that expectation on them. We got to let them be kids. Listen, society's too ramped and out of control and crazy, man. We need to let our kids be kids. Love them where they're at.
And that's what I was realizing is they're out playing my game, and it's like, okay, they're getting that I love this and this is a way to connect with me. They were willing to go that mile. They were willing to reach out, but why hadn't I done that when I know they love playing these video games and doing these things downstairs?
Right.
Why aren't I giving that a shot? I'm wanting them to give a shot what I played and what I like, but I haven't been sitting down with them. So I went Cisco on them.
There you go, man. Come on.
I said,
man.
Teach me how to play Fortnite.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
So I took the leap. I was just playing James a little of the video where I had my wife film me sitting down with Xander and trying to play Fortnite. I said, lead me to a Vic. I said, I need...
That means Vic Royale.
Whatever it meant. I was looking for a guy named Vic who maybe had a trench coat.
Well, yeah.
Something. That was, that's Grand Theft Auto. Never mind. Different
What's
game.
Grand Theft Auto?
Oh, that's one you shouldn't touch. Am I right on that, James?
Oh, man, I'm surprised he hasn't heard of it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, never mind. I never said the initials GTA. Check it out.
Okay.
Check it out. Okay, that's okay. So I'm playing Fortnite with Xander, and I'm Thor. I picked Thor.
Yes, you are.
Okay, yeah.
Look
This
at
is
you.
Norwegian heritage. I got that Viking in me. This was it.
Yeah.
So I'm Thor, and what is the point of this damn game? I start out with him, and all I'm doing is I'm running through some field. I'm running through a field. I'm running up a road. I'm doing that, and then he's, no, check the map. And I go, look, I'm no good at maps. I need a GPS. I don't know. I'm looking at where I am. You're telling me to look in the corner at this and look for these spots. No,
that's tough.
No, I see a road. I'm running.
Right.
And he's like, wait for me. And I'm like, catch up. You know, that's it. And all I would do, I encountered 3 or 4 trucks. Okay, and I would get in the truck, and I'd drive the truck for a while, and then I'd get out of the truck. Then I'd run some more, and then I'd find another truck. I said, so what is the point of this game? All I want to do is kill somebody. Show me somebody to kill. That's why I am doing this. I wanted to kill.
Right.
Not a single person did I encounter. I encountered nobody except my grandson a time or two. We're following trucks, and then finally I get out. I'm running up a hill. He goes, no, don't go there. There's some kind of freeze or some
storm.
Storm, that was it.
Storm.
I said, I'm from North Dakota. I've run through storms all my life. This is nothing. Nothing for Thor. So I start running into it, and everything turns kind of purple or something because apparently I've hit this storm.
Yeah.
Then that was happening. Next thing you know, I'm just, all I can do is crawl. And I'm crawling through the weeds, and then I die.
Yeah.
Nobody shot me. Nobody killed me.
The storm.
The storm got me.
Yeah.
Oh, is that fun?
Oh, well.
What the hell kind of game is this? I drove a couple of semis, and I crawled into a field and died. What is that?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I follow Elijah. Elijah's like, come on, Dad, keep up, you know, and I'm following.
I tried to follow him.
What's cool about E-Dog, man? I love my E-Dog because he's like, here, Dad, here's a gold sniper. And he throws down the gold sniper, and I pick it up. Love the gold sniper.
Was that a weapon?
It is.
I had some of those.
No, but you didn't have the gold.
You weren't playing
sniper.
with me.
Oh, trust
Let's
me. Let's
play.
Dude, I'll smoke your ass.
I will.
From a long way away.
I
It's
will
the one
steal
shot
your
challenge.
truck and drive away from you.
I'll let you because I'm going to blow your truck up. Challenge
I
on,
can't
baby.
believe we're talking about this.
Yes, we are. No, dude, the sniper, Elijah goes, Dad, you can't just hide in the bush and snipe people. I'm like, why?
Why?
Dude, it's so cool, man. They don't even see it coming like from a long way away. You got this person standing clear up on some build 9 miles in the sky, and bloop, you see the light take him away.
See, that's what I got nothing.
No, you got the
nothing.
light taking you away.
Yeah, it took me away, but I got to snuff nobody's candle. Nothing. Not a thing.
We got to put you on with E-Dog.
No,
Me and
what-
Lige just played a couple rounds last night before we went to bed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. I'm
Well,
starting to become a Fortnite master. Connoisseur.
this is really bothersome to me.
No, it's
it really bothers me. I tried it once and I found no joy. There was no fruit in that for me.
See.
So I hollered out 2 words that resonated with me.
Oh no! Can you say that already?
I can. I can. This is for any gamer of my age. All right.
Lay it on me.
I hollered out Mortal Kombat. All right. So he says, "Oh, we're going
Kombat.
old school." Okay. So then
And he knew.
he knew.
Okay,
They
all
had
right.
Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
They broke that out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
chose Raiden, and I beat the living crap out of my grandson.
No, you did
Yes,
not.
I did.
No,
I
you-
destroyed
Was you a
that
Mortal
boy.
Kombat
I
connoisseur?
lifted him up. I snapped his neck
No,
and
you did
spine,
not.
threw him down.
Seriously?
Dude,
Oh my
Yeah.
golly, man! I never
Oh.
got into the Mortal Kombat.
that
I
was
never-
pure. You could
I
not
think I watched the
avoid
movie.
ripping somebody's head off, and you're either going to kill someone or they're killing you.
I kind of want to check
And
it
I
out.
didn't have to drive no truck looking for him. He was right in front of me, Jason Voorhees.
Oh.
Yeah, he was right there with his mask and his little knife.
His little noise.
Yeah, that was it. That really worked well against Raiden, didn't it? So,
Okay, so Mortal Kombat. What's the other one? What's the other game I got to check out?
oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's
write that
You
down.
can do. Actually, I think it's really you're based on your life story.
Wait a minute.
I didn't want to bring that up.
Wait a minute.
Loosely based on the Cisco story.
Now I got to see. Are you putting me down or are you lifting me up on this one?
Play the game. All right, you play and you can
Don't
make
hate
your
the
own
player,
decision.
play the
Yeah,
game.
that's it.
Wow.
Hey, a couple of cool notes. Number one, just finished celebrating my birthday. Thank
Yes,
you
you
to all
did.
the people on Facebook. I was telling James just a minute ago, I had over 700 people take the time
Wow.
to write out and wish me a happy birthday. And that's very, very touching and was very, very nice. So thank you for everybody who took the time to do that.
Yeah, so
And I
how's
got
it
one
feel?
from you and James, so
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah, so how's it feel to make it another year on this spinning rock of beep that we're on? Sorry.
It's a huge accomplishment right now just to make it to a Wednesday. You know, because so
Hump day.
another year is great, you know. In this world where, you know, people aren't realizing that, you know, okay, my birthday wish. Can we all realize we're in the same boat? That's it. Just as a society, realize we're in the same boat. And in order for a boat to move forward, you need a right oar and you need a left oar. You need to paddle on both sides to make a boat go forward. So everyone who's saying, oh, the far left, the far right, whatnot, you need both them damn oars to move the boat.
Come on
So
now.
yeah, you can bring
on
them in a bit. You can bring them in a bit, but we're in the same boat and we need both paddles. So
But see, here's
There.
the problem. Everybody's down in the hall at the oar committee talking about each other and crying.
Can
There's
you
more-
believe how the
there's
right
more
oar worked that
Kleenex.
river?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
can you
more
believe how the
Kleenex
left-
being lost in the hull of the boat over the oar committee. I'm just saying, man.
no,
I'm just saying.
it is. So yeah, my quest for world peace for my birthday, still working on that. We're getting there. But we took such an amazing step for peace in ourselves, something that just smothered us in the most beautiful feeling you could ever imagine. This last week, Scott had this chair. Scott had one of these, you know, electric chairs that when you were going through rehab that help you stand up.
Right.
Where you push a button and it lifts the back of the chair so that kind of gets you in a standing position. Well,
Yeah.
you had been looking for someone to donate that to. You wanted to donate it to a vet. All right, so, excuse me. So I am a board member of High Plains Honor Flight,
Right.
where we, help veterans take them to trips to see the memorials built in their honor in Washington, D.C. I'd gotten a hold of them to see if they had anybody, if they knew of anybody who could use this. Well, they gave me the name of Ron, and we went over to see Ron and Phyllis, and we delivered that chair. And what we thought was going to be a uplifting, we're going to lift their spirits and bring them this chair thing, turned into something completely unexpectedly different, where I was lifted, touched, moved to tears. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I have ever had in my life.
You mean we delivered a chair?
Yeah, I know.
Did we drop off a chair?
We were sitting there with Ron, and I'm watching Scott, and Scott is just brilliant at being a listener. Scott's one of the best listeners I've ever met. And he asked this gentleman, tell me what you did in the service. And you see Ron just stop and pause for a moment before he even...
Yeah, I about panicked on that. Well, I really did, man. I don't even know where that come from. I felt like, man, you know better. You don't ask somebody that was in Vietnam like what you did.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Apparently you do, man.
You do. In the right situations with the right company, those brothers and sisters want to tell their story and need to tell their story. Sure. And they need someone to listen. And Scott sat and listened to this guy tell this most amazing story of his time in service, his time when he was serving the country in Vietnam and what went on. And Scott just listened and talked to the guy. And then he's saying, you need to write this down. Today's generation needs to hear about this. You went in and listened. You were listening. But to watch this guy at his age, you could see his eyes after the tears and after everything had gone away. You saw this spark, this light, this fire come over this guy. That the words you were saying, I'm going to tell you all, it was like Jesus himself was in the room, and I think he was. Without a doubt, we weren't alone in there. Put it that way. You know, when there's another force there, and we were all blown away by the force that was in that room. But Ron, Phyllis, you guys are incredible, and for you to take the time to sit and tell your story with us, I was moved beyond words, and it hasn't left me yet.
To the true heroes.
Oh, to the true heroes, absolutely. Those men and women who have served this country. And thank you, brother, for blessing him with that, because you know that's going to, I got to think every time he hits that button to stand up, he's going to think of you.
Man, it was, and I don't want no thanks for it.
I know you don't.
Yeah, I don't look for it. Man, but to be able to go in and, like you said, listen, but then, I mean, I think we can all agree, man, that what came out and what transpired, man, his heart started beating again.
Oh, mine did. His did. You could feel it, man.
It was like we brought the heart shocker thing.
Clear. Yeah, the defibrillators.
The defibrillators. I'm
yes.
kind of a defibrillator myself.
I know you are.
Electrocuted years ago, but yeah, man, that was something that along with the multiple stories and testimonies that I have in my life that have just rocked my world, man. And I still don't know how to take any of this. I don't understand it, but it worked, so I don't really care. You know,
it goes back to a theme we were talking about earlier, the pay it forward theme, which your son did with the dirt bike. Here you were looking around. It's like, this chair. This is going to do somebody.
It's been sitting in there forever.
It's been sitting there, but boy, this could do somebody some good. Yeah. I don't want anything for it. I just want somebody to be blessed by it.
And man, did we.
Beyond words.
And listen, we may have blessed him. I get that. But dude, what it did for us, because it broke us down on some level and took us to a place that we needed to be.
An unselfish place. A place where we weren't thinking about ourselves or anything else, where we all need to be, because it seems like when you take yourself out of the equation and just surrender to the circumstance and where you need to roll with it is when you find victory. I have found more victory through surrender than I have ever found through fight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know what I mean?
And the fight. Let's talk about the fight, because, man, this is something that took me a long time to learn. A long time, man. The fight is not done with your hands or your feet. The fight is with knowledge. It's with education, understand, and respect. I thrive now more on fighting than I ever have in my whole life, and I'm not even breathing hard. It's knowledge. When you can go to somebody and put them in their place, or I won't say shut them down or uppercut. I don't want to go that route. But dude, challenge me, especially when it comes to the mountain. Tell me something I don't know about the mountain. I challenge you to bring it. Bring it. Let's talk about it. I love that fight, man. I want that. I thrive on that. I mean, it amps me, baby.
Oh, I know.
It
No,
amps me.
I made this analogy about Scott the other day. I'm one who I'm always protecting myself. I have a shield around me. I don't want to get hurt.
Right.
It's inevitable the way I am and so forth because I wear my heart on my sleeve. I mean, that's natural, but I try to put a protection around it. Scott enjoys to let it bleed. Where it hurts, it hurts him too, but you thrive on that. Where I have trouble with
Sure.
it. You'll walk into a room full of knives. I'm going to stand outside and fire in.
Right.
That's
Sniper.
exactly.
Nah,
No, I know you do.
you got to bleed to heal. You got to bleed to feel.
Amen to that. No, amen to that. Well, speaking of bleeding, my family and I were no,
Okay.
no.
Get really uncomfortable.
Oh no, my wife made this weekend. It was the birthday weekend, so she made this homemade green chili recipe with green chilies from New Mexico that were just it was. We had a party for two. We had this. We had this green chili, and just me and her. This weekend, we got overserved together. We broke out a bottle of tequila and a vat of green chili.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was it. We cranked on the music, and we were trying to drink this. We accidentally drank this bottle of tequila.
Accidentally.
Where it had, I swear to you, here's what happened. We're trying to work it out. We said, we just need to finish this. We need to have a liquor reduction party where there's these bottles with this much left in them. We need to get rid of all of them to make space, right?
You did not mix all that.
No.
Good.
So we're going through the tequila, but it was like some magic tequila bottle. That it's like, look, honey, there's one drink in there. We each just got to have one more, and this thing's going to be empty. And then you pour it out, and it's like, crap, there's still
one more.
There's one more in there. So we'd finish those. All right, this is it. We got to have the rest of this bottle. It's one more. Holy crap, there's still another one in there. Let's just one more. This empty is almost bottle. All right, that's
I'm not as pink as you drunk I am.
more green chili. We won't pay for this tonight. And we both meet each other at the Love Stool at about 2:30 a.m. Whose turn is it? Yeah, we got one of them Love Stools. It's a two-seater, so you can still look each other in the eye. Not a big seller, but we got one.
Okay.
We might have the only one.
Yeah, I might need to know more details about this off air.
Well, and then at my age, just turned 55, we had what I think every 55-year-old does. We had a breakfast party the next morning. We had
A breakfast party.
We had the one couple who we knew would come over and be awake. Bob and Susan. Our friends came over. We meet at 8 o'clock at the house, have a big old good old breakfast that Kyla made, green chili and eggs.
Like farm fresh eggs?
Oh, and then followed that with cake. And we had cake and eggs and everything by 10 o'clock. Party's over. That's it. That was it, 10 a.m. That was my birthday. Then my wife left to go plan a wedding, and I sat alone on the couch. Some would call that.
Lucky you.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
You. God.
To me.
Get her done.
Exactly, yeah.
Get her
Yeah,
done.
so good stuff there. Let's, and I watched my daughter, she took out her own battery this weekend. Her car wouldn't start. Watched her remove her battery, get a new one, put it in.
Right on,
She came
man.
out, Dad, can you give me a hand? I said, what year is this car? No. I can't, pretending like that mattered.
Right. You got to cover yourself.
Hey,
Yeah.
but I took auto mechanics for 2 years in high school.
Did you? In
I got
high school?
In high school. I got a wrench on my class ring because it was what I said
No
that I was
way.
an enthusiast of.
Really?
When really, The only reason that I took auto mechanics was they had exhaust hoses that would hook up to the back of the car and then vent out anything to the outside.
Right. See, that's
So
dude,
use your
I'm
own
with you.
imagination for how that came in handy.
Right. So being the entrepreneur I was in high school, I specialized in welding for those exhausts.
Yes.
I also thought the little welder dude on the side of the ring had his
got him.
mask and the stick and the smoke. It was kind of like, that was my high school.
So you got
Up in
him?
smoke, man. Yeah, I got the welder.
So you
dude.
got the welder,
I got the
and
welder.
I got the auto mechanic.
The
Can you
wrench.
weld?
Ish.
Okay.
I just like the way it looked with the smoke coming up. man.
see?
Reminded me of high school, up in smoke.
No, I understand that. We didn't
Because it
have
was
that
a really
option
bad
on ours.
couple of years. We had a lot of fires that year. A lot of wildfires, similar to what we're experiencing now.
That's a different burn, man.
That is a totally. Yeah.
We
Let's
didn't.
talk about the wildfires, man.
Dude.
Man.
Still,
Much
now I know
love going out to these people, man.
we had moisture, we had some cooler temps, but that doesn't mean the stuff's over, man.
No, man, it's snuffed, but it's not. I mean, as you guys can tell from down here, have you smelt the smoke over the weekend? Was it bad?
I didn't get.
Okay,
I was
Silverthorne
indoors on the couch.
Clear blue skies. I mean, it was beautiful up there. No smoke whatsoever. So I think the weather did snuff it, but they're talking about a reflare, and so they're actually working the perimeters of this to try to keep the reflare from re-sparking. So I don't know. There's a lot going on, man. California, and then what's the other one? Ohio?
Oh, and Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah, Portland has the
Oregon.
worst air condition on the planet right now.
Right, man.
Yes.
Right. Well, Elijah's ultimate gamer lives up in Canada, see, and he's a Fortnite guru. And
Oh, don't
he was
even,
saying that
no.
they can't even go outside. They can't open their windows. They can't turn on the air
They
conditioner.
can't do that in San Francisco right now either. I was seeing footage of the middle of the day with the lights on outside and car headlights and all that. We had a day that was similar to that, but just that again, end of days looking stuff when you see footage from out there and the smoke. That's just it's horrible for people with any kind of breathing condition
it
whatsoever.
is. Well, but I'm thankful that people can pull strings and at least get their barbershop open to take care of their hair in a time of need. I mean,
We
we're in
know
hard
that
times.
boy, the place is burning, but your hair looks fantastic, Ish. That's beautiful. Did you get that done? Look at that. That's great.
Oh, yeah,
no, I know.
yeah,
I'm always. Don't even get me started into what is and isn't essential. All right. I know what is essential in my life, and that is music, which we talk about each week.
Oh, come on, man.
So I just want to break out my TC3 shirt. This is the Cadillac Three. This is their hashtag Stay Home T-shirt.
Stay home.
All right, because they weren't able to tour, so they did stay home and
With
put
the mask on.
cheers, beers, and washed hands is what it says on the back. So I love that. It's all their faces with the masks on them, but I am a huge fan of the Cadillac Three. I know I turned you on to these boys.
Man.
When I had it cranked and all of a sudden Scott is doing this air drumming on there to where he's going to beat the dash off of the vehicle.
Oh, dude, it's kind of like Baloo the Bear, man. You hear that tune, next thing you know, your shoulders start. Then you, shooby-doo, I want to be like you.
That's
Cadillac
what was
Three,
going
man. It
down because
pulled me.
he's going, this feels Southern.
Oh,
And I'm
Southern.
it certainly
on.
is. But the Cadillac Three are one of my favorite bands, without a doubt. They've put out a few albums. Their debut album, just called the Cadillac Three. Bury Me in My Boots was a great album. Then came Legacy, and now their latest album, they've outdone themselves. If you have not picked up the Cadillac Three Country Fuzz, your record collection is missing out. That's the one I've been jamming you
Country
on.
Fuzz, yeah.
They've got guest appearances by Chris Jansen. Travis Tritt comes out and does a Heart Out Here for a Country Boy with them.
Right.
That just smokes. It's just got such a dirty, nasty, swampy groove to it.
See, you're talking my lingo, baby.
It's from start to finish. This album, Country Fuzz, is just incredible. But I love the Cadillac Three. I brought them in for a show years ago. They were on one of my Habba Jiba shows when I had Dan and Shay, Chase Bryant, and the Cadillac Three together. I had these boys on stage playing a game of Match Game. It was Celebrity Match Game. And what I remember so vividly is is Dan and Shay ripping on the Cadillac Three. There was some question about where do you find most of these things crawling. It was some bug question.
Right.
And they said in the Cadillac Three's hair. To which there's a question. Then Jaron from the Cadillac Three says, well, we would have used some hair product, but everything was used up in the whole state by Dan and Shay. So they're going back and forth, just ripping each other.
Oh, I love that, man.
The Cadillac Three are incredible. They first grabbed my attention when they had a song called The South, which everyone from Dierks Bentley and everybody else who has any Southern in their blood sang background on this thing. And it was just kind of an anthem. But then I got to hear more of them and their songwriting. These guys are just, again, they can rock like nobody, but they can rip your heart out. Tim McGraw had a huge hit called Meanwhile Back at Mama's, which was one of my favorite Tim McGraw songs. It brings me to tears every time I hear it, the imagery of Mom's house and going back to Mama's. Well, that was written by the Cadillac Three.
Right.
And the Cadillac Three, when they came and played our show, did that song on stage, and they hadn't performed it live for a crowd before. And they did their version, and everyone was just blown away.
Wow.
And I had longer hair at the time before my hair fell out. I had some longer hair, much like yours, and I had dubbed myself the fourth member of the Cadillac Three, that we were going to be the Cadillac Four. Well, I thought it was going to get stuck. I thought it was stuck on that. I was going to be the fourth member of the Cadillac Three, the Cadillac Four. Then they met Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Well, see, and who's Steve? I mean, come on.
Come on. What's he done?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, they hooked up with Steven Tyler.
You have not heard me.
They produced his country record. They did a lot of co-writing on it with him, and Steven dubbed himself that they were the Cadillac Four. So it kind of threw me
Steven
right
Tyler,
out of there.
yeah.
So Steven, if you're watching, you don't need to take my band. You had one.
Seriously.
You got this thing, Aerosmith. You had your solo stuff.
What is Aerosmith?
Yes, we still don't know.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. All right, just had to get that out. I still, in my mind,
I love you, Steve.
fourth member of Cadillac. I do too. I really do. All right. And I love me some Cadillac Three. If you haven't checked them out, do so. And if you're unfamiliar, you can get familiar at themikeandthemountain.com. I'm going to put up a couple of their videos, and I'll throw up a picture or two of them as well. But be sure to check them out. They are just a fantastic band. Great guys. Neil, Kelby, Jaron. Absolutely love those guys. Class acts and just make incredible music. So, yeah. Always like to throw a little music in on the Mike and the Mountain. We try to hit some wildlife, try to hit some music, and try to hit some everyday life.
We'll hit it all, baby.
You got to hit it.
Hit like
That's,
hit it.
That's, no, don't even.
I'll hit it.
Yeah, we go from the beaver whisper to begin the thing to hit
Well,
it. All right,
yeah,
that's
so
it. Yeah.
there I was in the woods.
No.
Deep in the woods. Deep in the underbrush.
Well, as we are ready for another week of the weather is going to be heating up again, so everything that you thought that you could put off because the weather was getting cold, you got to get out and start doing again.
Right.
So take a look around. The critters may have tucked under for a few days because they weren't sure what was going on with the weather. They're going to be coming back out and wondering what happened. So keep your eyes and ears open at all time. This is the time of the year. Is it ever too early for them to start prepping for hibernation? When does that start rolling around?
I mean, brother, that's
nature. We don't know.
It is. It's nature. Up in the high country, I mean, I had a great
You were just up there.
conversation with Mr. Badge.
Yeah.
And he's still looking badgelicious. I mean, he really is. I mean, you just can't tell that time's taking its toll on his dew. I mean, he's getting thick. He's getting luscious.
Do they get a thicker coat? Is this when they're starting to come in?
Especially up 11,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're prepping up there. He had a really good coat on, and we had a great conversation. He was, trying to work a deal with me for some marmots and, to prep for his hibernation. And he was thick, though. I was like, dude, come on, man. You put the weight on. You're good.
Tell us a quick tip. Is there anything we should do to prep for this upcoming change as the leaves are starting to turn a little bit in some areas, and we're starting to get that beautiful Colorado road trip feel where you want to go and see the changing of the leaves? Should we be looking at anything that's going to be changing in our own yards at this time?
Well, you bring up a great point. I don't know if it has something to do with your yard. It has something to do with the climate. It has something to do with the wind, the fire. Change your filter in your furnace. Seriously, man.
Good tip.
People This slides by the wayside all the time. I mean, people were breathing. That's your filter for inside your home, along with your carpet. People don't realize how much of a carpet is a filter. It attracts, it holds on. I mean, clean your carpets. I mean, I'm talking about this because it's coming from a guy that doesn't breathe very well.
No, I understand.
I mean,
yeah, no, this is
asthmatic,
good tip. Yeah.
I mean, dude, get your carpets cleaned. Change the filter on your furnace. Seriously, if there's one thing I can press. You guys see me pull it out last week out of mine. It was just in my mind. We were down here. I pulled that out.
It looked like something you trapped.
Well, yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, it's bad. Yeah. Change your filter in your furnace. Seriously, that's right now. We can enjoy a lot of things, and the news keeps us up to date with the changing up in the high country, the leaves and stuff like that. But you know what's going on here is change filter in your furnace, get your carpets clean, and watch for the squirrels. Squirrels bring in and take out my season. Early spring, late fall, squirrels are looking. They've overpopulated through the year because everybody loves to feed the squirrels. Nobody wants to trim the trees back 6 feet from your house so they can't access the roof. Next thing you know, they're in the Taj Mahal. They're in your attic. Why wouldn't they be? Be a squirrel. Man, there's this billowy, fluffy stuff all over. There's wiring that's coated with insulation that's made by soy bio product. They strip that. They love your wiring. They'll strip it clean. Hazardous. Roof damage, insulation damage, wiring damage. Trim your trees back 6 feet. Don't feed the wildlife. It's against the law. If you're feeding your birds, make sure you're doing so. I don't know, man. We could go on and on. I get on my soapbox and it goes crazy.
No, that's what we want. But these are great tips. Just something to start preparing yourself, and that's what we want to bring. We want to educate, understand, and respect. And you need to educate yourself around your surroundings in your home. I know I do. I took a look at my trees just this weekend,
right?
And I'm in good shape. But you need to look. You need to make sure those are trimmed back 6 feet from your roof, just so you provide less access. Lots of things you can learn. You're going to be checking it all out at Cisco MWE. You can check out the Mike in the Mountain, find out about all the artists we've talked about, and always just follow Critter Getter as well. I just want to throw that in there. Critter Getter of Northern Colorado. That's where it all begins, and that's where we go out and get to deal with these wonderful
That's right.
critters.
That's right.
Like
Yes, we
squirrels.
do. Yeah.
But be ready. The change of seasons is coming, and we'll keep on top of it. We will keep you entertained. We'll keep you informed. We will educate, understand, and respect. It's the Mike in the Mountain. I'm Brian Gary.
Scott Cisco.
Until next time, peace and love, y'all.
Keep wildlife wild. Damn.
We got squirrels everywhere right
dude,
now,
it's horrible this
No,
year.
they're juveniles. They're these young ones that are coming out, and they're just toying with my dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's again, people don't understand. There's something on Facebook I seen. I don't even know what it was. Something hashtag save the squirrel. I don't even know. I'm making
There's a hashtag save the squirrel.
Yes, man.
From what?
Seriously, I don't know.
My wife just got him a new water feature.
Yeah, and I got a new Traeger smoker. Okay, I'm just saying.